I hear is the worst scream I've ever heard. She goes, "My son is dead, and these animals ate all the looks."
No.
Man of the year, man of the year, man of the year, man of the. Oh, you got me, you got me, you got me.
I'm Aaron Karo.
I'm Matt Ritter.
We are champions of friendship.
Yes, we are. The best.
Matt, I just kind of got a disturbing email.
Oh, boy.
Okay, so I get my insurance through the WGA, the Writers Guild.
Wow, a little humble brag.
And I don't know if it's humble or brag, to be honest. And they just released a new, service, new thing that's covered, and it's palliative care. Which, for those who don't know, that's like when you're dying. Yeah, you get taken care of.
That's a pretty nice service.
I mean,
that can be really expensive.
But just the thought that I would even ever need that.
I know, it's a dark thought to just have to think about your own mortality.
Yeah,
that's something I've been because I'm now, my wife's having a baby, which we're very excited about, and I've always said, I will not get life insurance until you bear me a child.
You don't have life insurance?
Not yet. Now I have to. Now there's something on the line. Somebody I care about now. Love you, baby.
I have a life insurance question. Have you done the shopping and done the research yet?
Not really.
Okay. Because I heard that they do a deep dive into your medical history. So if you took,
I've never done any drugs. Never caught anything. I'm clean.
But if you took Xanax 4 years ago, they had that information.
I've never done it, so I wouldn't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Because honestly, fine, because one of our buddies got life insurance and they did a deep dive. So now when I'm in the doctor and they go, is anything wrong? I go, nope.
Nothing. Because I want that sweet policy, that high dollar.
Why do you get the policy and not her?
It's just the way it goes, my man.
Right. But aren't we futurist female? No. Futurist female? No.
Not in this house.
The past is female.
The past is
the future.
Listen, what she wants me to get the life insurance and then work myself to death at an early age.
Oh, God.
That's what being a man is.
Yeah.
You don't complain about it. You just get the life insurance, you grind, and you die.
This is you not complaining.
Well, this is the best I can do.
Right.
It's the best I can do to not complain. Ooh, dark thoughts.
Yeah.
Listen, life is real, man. People die, Friendship, actually, I think I was thinking about this because my dad passed away last year.
Drink. You mentioned
drink. If I talk about my dead dad, you drink.
Yeah.
You do remember. You don't try to make a list of people, but you do remember who's there for you when bad things happen in your life. I would say I have a keen awareness of who was at the shiva and who was at the funeral and who was I can't make it. I was working.
I wasn't at it. Those
well,
things.
Come on. Keenly
This
aware.
was deep COVID. This was on
Keenly aware.
Did anybody travel in?
No.
Okay.
It's not like that. It's not like that.
I know.
It's very hard for people to travel for funerals. They're very timely, especially in the Jewish faith. You got to get them in the ground.
Well, I think that's just in COVID. Usually you have something.
No, the Jewish faith, you have to get the guy in the ground. In 48 hours.
People travel for funerals and pre-COVID.
Not always. They usually come for the shiva. They try to get in.
Got it.
Yeah. But
was anybody not there for you that you remember?
I mean, there were just some absentees at the shiva in New York. If you live in New York and we're doing the shiva in New York, you pop in.
You got to pop for a shiva. A local shiva?
You got to pop in.
Destination shiva.
Destination shiva is tough.
Yeah.
I agree. If your shiva's in Cancun.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Should we tell people what a shiva is?
Yeah. Shiva is the Jewish equivalent of a wake. It lasts for a week, where you're basically sitting uncomfortably for a week and people bring you a lot of locks. I have the greatest shiva story ever.
Yeah.
So this is kind of dark. So, so this is about I was just talking about my dad dying, but we're at the age where people are dying of our age.
Yeah.
Knock on wood.
Yeah.
Nobody on this trophy has died. I think about, the other side when we get to, this has been 19 years. God willing, when we get to the 38th year, we're all still here. But I've had friends who passed away.
I've had a dark thought. I thought about this. The first person of our group who dies, which please let it be 50 years from now, we rename the trophy after them. What solace
The
to their widow.
The
We bring it to the funeral.
I hate thinking about who would bet. Like if we were to bet on who's going to pass.
No,
first.
that's horrible.
It's horrible.
That's horrible.
I know, but I feel like a lot of people would have their money on me.
Well, you would die a death of misadventure.
Yeah. Like into a volcano.
Yeah, it wouldn't make any sense.
A volcanic type. Oh, so
Yeah.
this is the funniest Shiva story ever. So I had a really good friend who passed away at age 29 on a treadmill. Like had a little heart condition that got misdiagnosed, essentially. A horrible situation. His wife was pregnant. Like the misery of the misery.
This is a comedy podcast.
The Shiva story is really funny.
Okay.
It's really funny.
Okay. Don't tune out.
Yeah. So, Jewish Shivas, the thing is like the one good thing about it is the spread. Right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what wakes are like food-wise. I haven't been to too many, but a Shiva spread, it's almost better than most of our holiday meals.
Oh, definitely
Like,
better.
Definitely. Right? Like you would rather go to, if you were like, oh, option A, go to a Passover meal. Option B, go to a Shiva.
Oh,
like
Shiva,
9
100%.
times out of 10, you're eating that Shiva.
Strike that person down.
What would you say is like the greatest item that you usually get at a Shiva?
Ooh, that you wouldn't get otherwise?
Just like, what are we known for? What's the like?
Ooh, I don't know. Honestly, knock on wood, I haven't been to Shiva in a while.
Okay, so I would say it's the lox.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say lox, but I thought that was too basic and you make fun of me.
No, but like you really get some good high-end lox. So we're at this Shiva.
Yeah.
And like I'm a massive overeater. Like
everything in moderation.
Everything not in moderation. Everything not in moderation. It's like, so the Shiva spread is incredible. And I am just plowing through whitefish. You gotta have whitefish, tuna, egg salad, lox.
Your shit's just
give me the whole platter.
Yeah.
So I'm just making plate upon plate, and I'm with my college crew, and we're just plowing through it. And his mother. So the problem is, so even at my dad's Shiva, like people are coming to you, so it's hard to like get up and eat because people are coming over and they want to talk to you, and so you're just like telling stories about your dad or whatever, and you're in this case she's telling stories about her son, and it's like people are supposed to get you a plate, So I guess for whatever reason nobody fixed her a plate, and so like after 2 hours, the spread kind of goes down. People are hungry, and so she finally gets up to get a plate, and all I hear is the worst scream I've ever heard. She goes, "My son is dead, and these animals ate all the lox."
No.
She goes, "My son is dead, and these animals ate all the lox." And my friend and I look at each other, and we are holding the largest bagel of lox stacked so incredibly high. And like, it was like a record scratch. And all of a sudden we look at each other like, holy shit. And so we all like secretly were like, all right, just shovel, dude, clean it off, like rip off the ends. Like I'm talking about a bitten bagel that was like stacked with lox this high. So we basically like swept all the bitten lox into a pile, and then we put it on another plate. And then we threw it at the other end of the table, and I'm like, no, Arlene, look.
Oh, no.
I'm like, let me make you a plate. So I made her a plate of like the bitten lox, and it was like, save the day. But I'll just never forget. It's like the most Jewish Shiva laughing. Like, there's the darkest and funniest thing at the same time. Like, my son is dead, and these animals ate all the lox.
I love how you saved the day by giving her masticated lox. Jesus H.
I saved the day. Yeah, I'll never forget that Shiva. But it's but yeah, I mean, look, you got to be here for your friends, I mean, like, it's not all about, hey, come to my birthday party.
Well, I always think that like that's really when the friendship counts the most.
Yeah.
Like people coming to your birthday.
Right.
Yeah, that's great.
Right.
But like you really need it when the chips are down.
I will say, like, when my dad died, take a shot. Like my dad was the person that I called every morning at 6 a.m. Like that was like my one call. So like, he also was like my best friend. I know you have a great relationship with your parents too, but you don't really think about them as friends. As you get older and you have less like friends, your family or especially your siblings, like I know you're close with your sister too.
Yeah.
Like those are your best friends. Like my dad was my best friend too. So it was like, I just lost my best friend in life too. Like, and also like my biggest champion. And I think that's the other part is like when you lose your parent, you lose your biggest champion. And I think that's what we're trying to do with we literally call it champions of friendship, is I think you don't realize how much it means for your friends to support you and champion you and do it like vocally too. You know, like I feel like you're really good at like supporting your friends and telling everybody about the good things that your friends are doing, like that I don't even know about with our friends. Like when our friend get a promotion or something, I hear about it from you. So I would urge people to be more vocal about the support that you give your friends. Cause like as you get older and you lose people and like, you know, just the list of people that are in your corner gets smaller. So it's important.
It's also important for your friends to be supporting you because they are doing it by choice.
Yeah.
You know, your parents have to be your biggest champions.
True. That is true. Your friends are not stuck with you. They don't have to
come to your fucking
They're
weird
not
art
stuck
show.
with you. Yeah, they're not stuck with you the way your family is.
Now, you said you used to speak to your dad every day at 6 a.m. Is that why you now text me at 6 a.m.?
Yes. I'm just like, you're my daddy now.
Oh, man.
Oh, this is funny. This is a funny thing that a dead dad thing too. That's kind of funny. So I know you meditate and do like some of that stuff.
Yeah.
That we're LA. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's branched out from being like an LA joke. I think a lot of people meditate. It's a healthy thing. I do a gratitude thing in the morning. Every day, I vocally say the people that I'm grateful for. I don't say you. Should I add you to the list? I feel like maybe now.
Wait, it's the same people?
Every morning, yeah.
Oh, it's like a sort of like a reverse Schindler's List.
Not of dead people. Of everybody in my life.
Just people you're trying to say.
Just people I'm grateful for. But so originally the list was my dad, my mom, my siblings, their family, etc. And then I put Jessie. She was after them. And I told her about it.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And she's like, I'm ninth?
Dude, this is like the 2022 version of the speed dial.
Yeah.
Like from Seinfeld.
Yeah. The gratitude list.
Yeah.
So I moved her up.
4th or 5th?
I moved her to 3rd.
Listen, it's like you've known your siblings your whole life. You just met Jess.
I know. Now I feel bad for myself. Now I'm like, did I?
Yeah.
Now I moved myself. So it's my dad, my mom, then Jess. And then I actually put my unborn child. So now he's 4th. But then, and then like, she was like, what about Olive? I'm like, I'm not putting my dog above my siblings. Okay. You're crossing the line here.
So interesting because yes, I have gotten into meditation, but gratitude, if you do any Googling or research, like scientifically proven to increase your well-being, like of anything. And I have tried it. I've tried to do like a little gratitude journaling where every morning I list 3 things I'm grateful for.
I better be on there.
I'll have to look.
I doubt it.
But I couldn't, first of all, I run out of stuff. So that's interesting. You say the same people. I think you're supposed to do different people. Or things like.
So I do add things at the end, but it's always that same like list of people that I'm grateful, but it's expanding, you know, I added a new unborn child too.
Yeah. Are you grateful for the podcast?
I'm going to start tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
I'm going to text you at 6 a.m. I'm going to be like, I just did a gratitude for the podcast, not for you.
Yeah.
For the pod. Because that includes you.
And you say it out loud?
I say it out loud. So that's interesting, right? Because I actually think vocalizing it, and that's what I was saying with like supporting your friends, is I actually think starting to vocalize it is something that people should practice more.
Well, that's why they have people write. It's not you can't just think it, writing it, saying it.
Well, that's why like with career stuff, sometimes like when I'm trying a new venture, it only becomes real when you tell other people.
You know, it's so funny you say that because that's why I tend not to tell people stuff.
Out of fear.
I don't know if it's out of fear. Some of it is like when I'm writing a news, like I actually have a project I have not even told you about. Just because like first of all, if you react if your eyebrow goes one way the wrong way,
I agree. It's a lot of people. So I actually think I agree with you because a lot of people tend to be doubting out of their own internal fears. When somebody wants to do something new, you don't automatically always get the support. And what you need there is like 100% support.
But our role isn't like, you will many times come to me for constructive criticism notes. Sometimes it's not.
Yes.
But like when it's a new thing, you know, I don't know.
You do need the 100% support at first.
Right.
You need people to be excited and then they can get into like, maybe this isn't so great. But like, I think off the bat, like everybody kind of needs that like full throttled, like,
you know, it reminds me of something I wanted to mention is that like, we're always giving notes to our friends, which is very specific to our job as screenwriters. But like, that is a skill that I feel like
delicate.
it's a skill that I feel like I've ported to other walks of life.
Yeah.
Because
So how so?
Because when someone's asking you for feedback, like it's up to us, the feedback giver, to determine, well, what do they need /
Right.
want here? Some people, sometimes you text me and you're like, ruin me,
Yes.
destroy me,
Yes.
break me.
Yeah, you do. And you comply.
Yeah. And I go
Happily.
gladly. But
Well, I have very thick skin. That's the thing.
very thick skin, and like you're in the first draft.
Yeah.
And some people you realize like they just need some constructive things here and there, but
But
mostly
more of a boost. I agree.
Exactly.
But what I'm saying is I think universally when everybody is like about to embark on something new, they mostly need that universal support first.
right.
I think a lot of people are too quick to go, is that a good idea? Like let them at least like feel good about where they're going with it, and then you can get into it.
Right. And I think that, again, not just
Can we shit on your new venture now?
no. I'm not.
You're not even ready to share it on the pod.
No, on the pod, absolutely
Oh
not.
my God.
But going back to meditation.
Yeah.
So I actually just finished 2 years consecutive.
You know what I love about you? And I say this because I'm always impressed that you have the consistency level of, as I said, like a serial killer.
I'm
the methodical nature.
Yeah. Good at habit forming.
Incredible habit
Yeah.
forming. I mean, never missed a day of school.
Yep. Perfect.
That's where it
attendance.
started. The
Perfect attendance.
started. And now 2 years in a row of meditation.
And the best part is telling girls that I meditate. By far the best
It's
part.
almost probably the reason you started it.
I mean, I don't
He
know.
Googled,
Maybe.
how do you get laid
What
more?
do girls
Said,
like?
yeah, meditation, therapy. He's like, I'm in therapy and I meditate. And they're like, woo.
Because
Woo!
women on the dating apps, they will say like, looking for a guy in therapy. And I'd be
Yeah.
like, well, I'm not in therapy right now.
Yeah, you're like, I'm actually not in therapy because I'm meditating right now.
Yeah.
I have therapy after my meditation, and then I have a second meditation session after the therapy.
Yeah. But besides that, I don't know if it's really doing anything.
And that's doing stuff.
Yeah.
You're-
How long have you been doing gratitude?
I would say this is post-med. So in the past year, I've been doing it for sure.
Got it.
You know.
And have you noticed?
It's hard to tell internally, but I just in general feel like, I don't know, life is good.
So, and we can cut this if we want. Like, what advice? Okay, you've always said, and I'm sure most people say this, like, oh, I would, what would I give for one more conversation with my dad?
Yeah.
And so, like, what would you say to someone who still has their parents?
Yeah, it's funny. So my dad died literally, I missed him by like hours, and what's messed up is I was already there, but I was in New Jersey, and then I was at my sister's. And so I could have talked to him. Like I could have had more time in those 4 days, but I was like, oh, I'm going to see him this weekend.
Yeah.
I would say one is don't count on seeing, as people get older, don't count on seeing them. Like if you're like, oh, I'll see them in 2 weeks, but you're thinking about calling them, just call them now. You know what I mean? So like if you already have something where you're like, oh, well, I'm going to see that person then, or I'm going to talk to that person then, but you're actually thinking about talking to them now.
Yeah.
You can also call them now.
Right.
I think that's one thing that people are always like, well, I'm going to, I'll see him in a week. So if you're thinking about somebody, just call them then.
Yeah.
That would be my number one, because I had been thinking about him those like last 4 days. Right. But I didn't see him, and I probably could have just been like, you know what? I have like 2 hours. You're like an hour from me.
Did you have moments when your dad was alive where you're like, everyone's parents are kind of annoying to them in their own way. Did you have moments when you were like with your dad, I'm sure in your entire life, you're like, oh God, like, and now you're like, oh, I wish he was annoying me. Like, does it work like that?
Yeah. It's actually really funny you say that. So my dad's thing was he always wanted to go get coffee after we had dinner.
Oh, interesting.
So he would always want to go to a different restaurant. He'd always be like, let's go get a cappuccino. And I'm like, but they have it here. They have it right here. And I always used to find that so annoying. And then after he died, I was like, damn it.
Right.
He just wanted to like spend more time, which is like a bummer. I'm like, fuck. And I didn't always do it,
Yeah.
But now I'd be like, of course, And then like, I just think like, oh, I'm going to be a parent and my kids are going to be annoyed. Just a cycle of life, right? And you're like, oh God. But I also think what happens is like, so as you age, right, there's like, you love your parents, you want to spend all the time with them. And then you become a bratty teen. You don't want to spend time with them.
Yeah.
And then when you're in your 20s, you're kind of like too busy for them.
Yeah.
And then like, your 30s, you're like doing your own thing and you find them kind of annoying. But then like, I think when you're like in your 40s or whatever the age is, you get to a certain age where you're just like fully accepting them. I feel like I'm at that age where now I'm like, I fully accepted my parents. So then when they were like hanging out, like, you don't always have to make them leave because your friends are around.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, are you at that? Like, where are you with like, when your friends and parents are both in the same like zone? Do you want your parents to be like leaving so you can be with your peers, or are you kind of like, it's fine, they can stick around?
Well, first of all, I would say I agree with you. I'm at like a peak appreciation right now.
Yeah, it's good.
Like,
it's great.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, no, I love my parents and my friends are hanging out. And we're not usually like, get away so I can go out,
Right. I used to be like that though.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, when we were like in
when
high
we were
school?
in New York, no, like in my 20s when we were like in New York, and like my parents wanted to come to my comedy shows all the time.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And it was just kind of like, I'm going to be like drunk out with my friends. And only, but it's funny because my wife grew up where there was like no division between friends and family.
Really?
They would all like hang out together and they were like all socializing together. I don't know, it's like, just different environment.
Now, have you ever thought about your own funeral and what you'd want?
Yes. I'm hoping, and I think it's funny you say that. You asked about my funeral. I was thinking a lot about it because of this podcast. And I think a lot of people, if they thought about that, would be more inclined to put a little more effort into their friendships. Because I want funny eulogies, like all the good and bad, like no holds barred, like funny partying. Roasted, celebrate, kind of like my wedding. So Aaron married us and did a great job. And
in case you didn't know, guys, I officiated his wedding.
Right, but it was amazing because it was truthful and it was authentic and it was loving. But I want all of that, know. And if you haven't like built these friendships, like it could be a quiet, solemn affair. Yeah, like I roasted my dad in a great way.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, my eulogy of my dad was like, God, if only my agents could see this. If only Comedy Central. Can I submit this 10-minute eulogy as a fucking submission to SNL? Like, nailed it. So yes, I've thought about it. I really dark thoughts, but I hope that the way I lived is the way that they'll celebrate me. How about you?
Full of gas and
gas. They say dead people fart like, wow, man, stay away.
Well, if you go before me, which probably you will, I will roast you.
Yeah,
I will. But I will say, so when my grandmother passed away, at least 10 years ago, it was just me and my dad speaking, and my dad's like, okay, you go first, and then I'll go. And I'm like, Dad, I'm not going to open for you. I'm a headliner.
I was actually cognizant of that. I was like, I have to headline between my brother and sister.
Yeah,
and
of course. You have to.
Yeah, I had to.
But I'm calling it now. Can I headline your funeral?
Well, I suppose, unless Jessie wants to headline it.
I think I should go after
you should headline it. All right, yeah. We'll let her open.
Yeah.
We'll let her open.
She can feature.
I mean, well, now that we're on the record doing this, I guess like she's going to have to know that this is what my wish is.
Yeah.
Oh, this supersedes the will.
This is the last will and testament.
This is the last will and testament.
And can I have whatever crypto you have left? It's going to be probably negative.
What if it rebounds? I can't commit to.
Fair enough. So cremation or coffin or what?
Oh, God. I think I want to be in the ground with the family because we have a section.
Oh, you do? Oh, so my parents have a section, but we don't have plots, just my parents and I think their parents.
Yeah, actually, I don't know if there's room.
Yeah. Oh, I want to be cremated faux show. You want to be in a box in the ground. It's like, what is this? What year
I don't know.
Our
soul, if you believe in souls, it doesn't really matter, I don't think.
I don't.
Either way, I'm saying if you do believe in a soul, it doesn't matter. If you don't, it doesn't matter. Either way, your body, and if you believe in a soul, your body, it doesn't trap it. So it's irrelevant. And if you don't believe in a soul, then you have a dead body or dead ashes. What's the difference?
But the people putting bodies in the ground.
It's not efficient. It's not an efficient use of land.
It's ridiculous.
This is kind of funny. Just speaking of cemeteries.
Yeah.
So I think that when a neighborhood gentrifies, you need to dig up all the bodies and move the cemetery to the new areas.
I think we should stop recording now.
Should we not record that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying that all of the... we shouldn't do this.
No, please expand.
Okay. So all of the old Jews in New Jersey used to live in Newark.
Okay.
And so now, like all the cemeteries, they are now in an area where there are no Jews. So I think they should just dig up that entire cemetery and move it to like Montclair.
Okay. So what happens when Newark gets gentrified and there's a bunch of African-American cemeteries? Do we inter them?
Yeah, everybody. Yeah.
Excavate?
Everybody should get to be moved to be with their people is what I'm saying. We'll probably have to cut this.
I mean, actually, now that you explained it, it's a little bit less problematic, but also really dumb. I mean, now we're digging the graves and putting new graves.
Yeah, every 30
Only
years.
if you can
Every
stack-
30 years when a neighborhood flips.
Yeah. When
You
it
gotta
flips, 'cause
dig
then it
up
flips
the-
back.
Yeah, you gotta dig it up.
So I definitely want to be cremated. Part of it, I don't know if this is going to make any sense to anybody, but I have OCD. And so when I finish like I do a lot of to-do lists and stuff like that. When I finish it, I rip it up into pieces. Like I don't just crumple a piece of paper. And it's some sort of OCD tick because then I can't look at the paper again.
Wow. You really need a finale.
Yes. So for cremation, it's like the to-do list of life.
There's no reviving that.
Exactly.
There's no levitating that body.
Yeah.
What if they figure out some technology?
Yeah. You're right. You're right. I'm fucked probably.
Right? Like
I'm
if they figure out some technology to bring us back, it's like, oh, well, here's Aaron.
Yeah. I'm just going to be
just like
dust.
A dust smoke thing.
Now, so I agree with you. I want to be, I would like you to headline.
Yeah, I have to. Who else can do it?
Who else? But here's the thing. I specifically want people, and I think you meant this, to not only say how great I was, but how much of an asshole I was.
Yeah.
Because I don't like when you just say good, nice things.
Yeah.
With their permission.
Yeah.
With Beyond the Grave. Also, open bar.
Gotta have an open bar.
It's not going to be at a funeral home.
I know. It's so sterile there.
I know.
It's so sterile.
I know. Do you think if you, God forbid, passed away, like, soon, untimeliness, you'd want all that too? People are going to be super upset. If you're 80, who cares?
Yeah, I'd still want it. I want it to be fun. By the way, speaking of like sterile and rattle, so when my dad died, there's the funeral home, and then you have to drive. It's like a processional. To the plot. This is so messed up. So they like held us up. There's a huge processional trying to get into the cemetery to do the actual.
By processional, you mean a bunch of cars.
Yeah. To do the actual burial, the rabbi's waiting, and we're held up because
rabbi charges by the hours.
Yeah, no, it's about money.
Yeah,
they hold it up because they're like, wait, we don't have the check yet. My brother had to get out of the car and write them a check on the spot.
I actually kind of respect that.
Yeah, they're like, nobody's going in the ground here unless we have the check in hand.
Yeah, because once it's in the ground,
right. Once we've buried it, it's like, the check's coming.
Right.
Yeah, they're not going to dig them up.
Right.
Maybe they do.
According to your plan.
Yeah, maybe they would.
I respect
You respect
that.
them? You just like delayed it for 20 minutes.
I mean, by the way, funeral home, best business.
Oh, it's amazing. Oh, This is a hilarious story. This is at my wife's grandmother's funeral. They have the greatest racket is the coffin racket.
Oh, yeah.
So what they do is they present you with all these options, right? Like for all the things like little cards, flowers, like it's like a wedding. These are all your options. And then they get to the coffin and you're just generally like, who cares? Just give them the standard, right? So they know that in their mind, these sleazy salesmen are like, how do we get them to spend the most on a coffin? So they have it down to a science. Like, you're looking through it and they're like, oh, well, now for the coffin, what are you thinking? And everybody's usually like, just get them something nice. It's fine. So what the first thing they do just to mess with your psychology, they go, oh, when they hear you say, I don't care, they just show you this like paper box. They're like, oh, here's the lowest end. Yeah. And like, so Jess and her sister both gasped. It was literally like a cardboard box. And they're like, oh, okay, well, I guess you want to go up a little bit. And then it's like $8,000 for the next step up. They're like, they show you like we could just put them in this paper bag with leaves. The Karo way.
Compost.
Yeah, the compost way. Yeah. They're like, here's the $800 compost bag. And then it jumps right up to the almond oak casket.
I mean, it's got cushioning. Like the guy's dead. She's dead.
I know. It's a little too cozy.
Have you given any thought to your social media and your computer post-death?
Like, should it live on? It's always weird when it lives on.
So on Facebook, I don't know if you know this, you can select someone to be the executor of your Facebook. Jeff is the executor of my Facebook.
Why?
Yeah. This was about 10 years ago.
You should change it.
To you?
No, not to me. I'll mess with you too much.
Yeah. From Beyond the Grave. Do you want people? Because, sometimes
it's confusing when somebody's dead and you don't know it. We've had a few incidents.
Oh, God.
Remember that birthday incident?
God, should we tell that story?
Yeah, definitely.
So we have friend. This was years ago when people posted on Facebook for your birthdays.
It's so funny.
You know, when you would post happy birthday just on everyone's Facebook. And this guy was just like friends with, you know, you have Facebook friends you're not even friends with. And someone passed away. And then their birthday came up. And clearly this guy got a birthday notification, did not know they passed away. And he wrote, have a kick-ass birthday.
Have a kick-ass birthday. We say that to each other all the time now. It's our inside joke. Have a kick-ass
birthday. You know, because sometimes on Twitter, like, they will just lock it and it's just there forever. Like, do you want it deleted? Do you want it updated? Do you want it like, who was the person who was just,
a famous person in the past?
No, there was someone posting from, Herman Cain. Remember he was.
Yeah. That's right. I mean, I think it should, you have like a grace period and then I think you want to like shut it down.
So you don't want any remembrance of you?
I don't know. Forever? Stays up forever? Your Facebook page? I guess maybe. Be nice. You want it up?
I usually go unfriend.
You just unfriend when they
keep
pass?
The ratios down.
Do you wait till after the shiva?
Yeah, after I get the lock spread.
After the lock spread, you go, that's dark, man.
But what about your computer?
I mean, I'm not like, so I'll tell you something dark. And well, actually, I think it's loving.
You know, you don't have to qualify
no,
every statement in the story. Yeah.
No, I think it's really loving. So my brother and I kept my dad's phone on.
Okay.
And my brother pretended to be him, and we've been texting him for a year post-death.
You're still doing that?
Yeah.
Wow.
We kind of stopped like a couple months ago.
Yeah.
But we were just texting him like, hey, check out the Knicks game. They're doing well.
Right.
You're going to like the team this year. And my brother would respond as my dad.
So why did he get to be your dad?
Because he had the phone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
And he was paying the phone bill.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was sweet. It was sweet. So we
great.
texted my dad for like a year after he died. We kept the text chain going. And, you know, my wife would be like, who are you texting? And I'd be like, my dad.
Yeah.
Like, okay. Yeah. My therapist was like, it's good. It's healthy. It's fine.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Yeah.
It's the people who don't deal with it.
I know. You got to deal with it. By the way, I was thinking about things that like mistakes I've made on the other end, like not checking in with friends enough. Like one of my friends passed away last year and I didn't even really know that he was sick. And that was just because we kind of lost touch.
Yeah.
You know, and like that sucks. You know, I was like selfishly doubly upset, like upset that he passed, upset for his wife, child, etc. But then like doubly upset, like that I didn't do my job.
Right.
As a friend. Like, you know, we're like, hey, we're doing a friend podcast for friendship experts. Like, yeah, we're fallible on the friend front.
So on that note, I think that a lot of people also don't know what to say.
When someone passes
away or just sort of anything.
Yeah.
And this is something that I learned as well, just getting older. Like, cause sometimes you want to be like, first of all, can I do anything? Or like, trying to explain it. I went through this and like what I learned, obviously depends on the situation. It's just say, I'm thinking of you.
Yeah.
I love you. Something like that.
It's better to say something than nothing because you think it's awkward.
Right. Good point.
It's more important to just put something out there for them. There's no wrong thing. There's no wrong thing.
Well,
unless you say have a kick-ass birthday to a dead person.
So what did we learn today?
I think we learned about, you know, it's better to say something than nothing.
Yeah. That reaching out, even if you don't know what to say, is better than not reaching out. And also, Matt, you made the point that parents, friends, like, they're not going to be around forever. It's a little dark, but like, if you have the opportunity to reach out to someone you haven't spoken to in a while, like, don't wait. Do it now. Text somebody. I hope just like from listening to this podcast, just text somebody. I love you. I miss you. Do that. That's what I ask. That's what would be my homework to you. Or even like a little, you up? You up? It's been a while. You alive? You alive? You up? All right, that's our show. Guys, thank you so much for listening. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. Give us 5 stars, write a review. We're on socials at Man of the Year Podcast. Be good to yourself. Be good to your friends. Love you, buddy.